Guys, in this video we will learn how to find the factorial of any number. So assuming that, for example, a user input number 4 for our variable a, I must find the factorial of number 4 in our example. So the factorial of any number is the multiplication of all numbers starting from 1 until the number itself. So in our case, if the number is 4, the factorial of the number will be 24. So to solve this problem, since we have one variable with the value, I will have another variable fact, which is short for factorial, and I will set its initial value as 1. Why? Because in the future in my loop I will multiply this factorial with some value of I, and if this would be 0, so every time the result would come out 0, because any number multiplied with 0 will give you 0. So I will create the loop where my counter I starts from 1 and it will continue until a. Increase the value of my counter I by 1. And inside the loop, I'll say that the factorial is equal to factorial multiplied by I. So every time I will increase, and actually I will multiply it by 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So when I is 1, the result of this equation will give me 1, because factorial is initially 1 and I is also 1 now. So 1 multiplied by 1 will be 1. In the next iteration, when I is 2, again this equation will give me, so the factorial was 1, so 1 multiplied by 2, so I is 2, it will give me 2, and 2 will be assigned to fact. And then when I is 3, again this equation will give me 2 multiplied by 3, which is 6, and in the next iteration I will have 24. So when I finish my loop, I will just print out the value of the variable fact. So let's start the program. I will create variable a and I'm going to read it, but my cin function will not work unless I include using namespace std. So after reading a, I will create a loop where I start with 1 and my loop will run while I is smaller or equal to a. So the last iteration of my loop will be when I is equal to a. And then every time in the loop I will increase the value of I by 1, and in the loop I'll say that fact is equal to fact multiplied by I, but I didn't declare variable fact. Let's declare it. So fact, and the initial value of fact will be 1. And when I finish the loop, I'll just print out the value of my variable fact. So let's run it. So let's enter 5. It must give me 120, and it gives me 120. That's it.